Good afternoon. It's Craig. I run the Facebook page Indiana Homeowner Watchdogs web page, and now we have a new YouTube page. It's called Indiana HOA Watchdog, and there is a new email address. You can send emails to us, and that's Indiana HOA Watchdog at gmail.com. So you can use those other sites as well to communicate with us. And as I promised, we're going to continue to expand on this series. Before I get started, I wanted to ask if any of you have looked at the video that I posted to Facebook. That it's me recording the screen from the in.ga.gov. I can't remember what the URL is, but it's on the video. And the reason I did that is because they have a disclaimer on there. If you use their video for commercial purposes or try to promote something, you could be violating their privacy rights or policy rights or something. I didn't want to get in trouble by stripping that. I wanted to record it to show that it's currently part of their website. I gave you the URL and the drop down to actually find the video yourself so that you can check it out. But if you look in at 5 minutes and I think it's 20 seconds, 25 seconds, Mr. Bushman from Volkel Bushman Thrasher, whatever it is, their law firm, and he's one of the partners. He states in there that you currently meaning at the time that he made the statement, which was before the law was changed, that you have to have the proxy signed under oath, and that you can only deal with the original signed copy of it. Well, that's a very interesting fact. Keep in mind that statement was made before the law was changed, and that was also the election that his firm presided over in Fishers. They presided over an election on November 17th that violated the law, according to his own statement. So they collected these proxies. People walked around and got signatures, supposedly. There's no proof of that anybody signed them. There's no evidence or documents that show that they had anybody do anything as far as verifying that the people that signed those actually were the people that signed them. And there's another big chunk of information that I'll bring out later that proves the corruptness of how they approach this whole meeting. It's just going to kind of blow you away. But I'm going to sit on that because I want them to sweat it out, because they're so ignorant to the things that they did. And I think it was intentional. They just thought that they got one over on us, and they had no idea that I had this all along. So check that out and listen to that statement that Mr. Bushman makes about proxies and how they're supposed to be dealt with, and then realize that they did the opposite of that when they had their fake election on November 17th in Fishers. So I promised you more information about red flags and understanding, when your HOA has problems. So today I briefly want to bring your attention to several things that are really important. And it was how they try to skirt their responsibilities in our case. So it's critical, and you have the right to these according to most bylaws and covenants, and it's really important that you read them and you know them very well. and understand the order of the hierarchy of the documents too, which ones have more power over the other ones, and as it relates to Indiana law. You'll also notice that if you go to any IC code that relates to HOA, you're going to notice that almost in the first paragraph or second paragraph of any law in IC code that relates to HOAs, one of the things it's going to state is according to the governing documents. So even the code claims that the HOA has to follow the governing documents. And the reason that's important is because the attorney for the HOA is going to try to use a claim, oh, that there's some kind of conflict. Well, there's no conflict. And usually in your bylaws, there'll be some kind of a disclaimer or disclosure about the order that the documents have authority, and how in a situation where there is some type of conflict, what the order is and which one would prevail in that situation. So please understand that as long as there is not a conflict, then the governing documents pretty much run the community and run the affairs and how it's supposed to be dealt with. So please recognize that, look it up in your own documents and find out where you stand, and then pull up the corresponding IC codes to find out if there is a conflict, because you'll really need to know that to set up your defense.